Unless specifically indicated otherwise, the content expressed are my views only and not necessarily those of Life Pro Asset Management, LLC. The content presented is in no way an investment advice, solicitation, or an offer to sell securities or investment advisory services. The material is provided for general information and educational purposes based upon publicly available information from sources believed to be reliable. I cannot assure the accuracy or completeness of these materials. As such, the information in these materials may change at any time without notice. Reference to these discussions about IULs and annuities or fixed insurance products. Investments on fixed insurance products are different from investments in the stock market. Any guarantees provided by a fixed insurance product cannot be assumed to be guaranteed for any other investment.
Welcome to the Rock My Finances show on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV, where we put the fun in finance. Join Powerhouse Jennifer Jose, CDFA, CMC, and Private Wealth Advisor, as she collaborates with you to create clarity, control, and confidence with your money, your way. It's not about the zeros, so what is it all about? Let's find out. Now here's your host and weekly friend, Jennifer Jose.
Hey, y'all. I'm so glad you're back for another show. This one is going to be great. As you can see behind me, I have some happy birthday stuff. So yes, celebrating my 60th birthday this week. Very exciting. And I have one of my besties to be on the show today. So I'm very thrilled about that. I have not been able to really dive deep into interview her. She is part of the Soul Sister series. So check that out. I have a lot of shows on the Soul Sister series where all four of us get together and chit chat and dish about all different types of things. So today is going to be about Denise and what she does and her community and all about her. So her and I have done some law of attraction shows as well. You might want to check those out. And this one is going to be all about Denise and her special needs community and her career and her company and everything that she does. So without further ado, let's welcome Miss Denise Carbon. Woohoo! Hi, sweetie.
Hi, sweetheart, and happy birthday week to you. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you. Denise actually sent me these signs. And she's like, hey, where's your signs? I'm like, oh, yeah.
We got to be celebrating you. We can't always celebrate someone's sexy 60th year. And so this is a big thing.
I love that you say that, especially since I had carbs and not feeling all sexy. But thank you so much, because that is my goal, right?
The sexy feeling's an internal thing. Doesn't matter what you eat.
This is true. This is true. I love it. Okay, so Miss Denise Carbon, I'm going to read a little bit from your bios and your website, and I'm going to interview you and ask you questions. And I just want to get to know more myself as well. And I believe what you do is so important, to be an expert about the special needs community, and you actually being a parent coach, helping parents deal with this entire lifestyle that has their heart connected, that has their finances connected, that's part of who they are. Like, this is not just a writing a book career or, starting a company, which is crazy as heck. But this is like, you are so enveloped with their love and their emotions for their children that you are an amazing parent coach for them. And let's not forget, but you are a powerhouse in this community in the Bay Area. Like, you have been doing this for so long. Like, you have experts coming to you for questions and answers
and more, but
and training, right? Like, there's so much. She gives talks, she does all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I can just imagine how frustrated the parents would feel. My son, ADD, ADHD, some learning disabilities. Say hello to Luna, because y'all know she's a freaking Zoom queen. She just has to crawl all over my keyboard when I'm on Zoom.
You don't want her, you know who to give her to.
Yeah. Gosh almighty. She kills me. Thank you. I love it. I know you love her. So being with Parker and having to do the special classes and fight for his rights, for his small little tiny disabilities in your stream of things, and to do his IEP and to fight every year to make sure that he got the things that he needed in order to be successful in school. And then he had all kinds of other issues as well. I have this much experience in dealing with. We're okay. We're okay. My surfboard just
I
fell.
love that.
Okay.
I just want to interject how that is, okay, she and I, like Jennifer said, right?
Law of attraction, yeah.
So basically what just happened, for those of you who aren't watching this, her background just totally fell apart and fell on the floor. The surfboard fell off the wall. One of the 60 happy birthday 60 signs fell down. And I think that's not a coincidence, because I was thinking in my mind, yeah, you're saying Parker's thing was just so little. I can only imagine what other parents are dealing with. And I was going to say that's baloney, because your child's special need or delay or issue, whatever it is, behavior, whatever you label, like you said, ADHD, it doesn't matter the diagnosis in my mind. If your child is struggling, so is the parent. Right. So if your whole heart and your mind and everything was on Parker and helping him succeed, whether in your instance, like you were saying, with the IEP and the school district, you are going to do everything that you can for Parker. Right. And that's what I love about supporting parents that have kids with special needs or developmental delays or behavioral issues or neurodiversity, which is like the hot buzzword now. Doesn't matter what the issue is. And oftentimes parents come and minimize it. Like they're like, well, this is just a little thing. Well, it's not a little thing, or you wouldn't be worried about it, or you wouldn't be losing sleep over it. So back then it was a big thing for you. And it probably took a lot of your time and your attention and your focus, because he's your heart, as your kids are.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You are 100% right. The universe definitely has my back all the time, making sure that I stop going down the rabbit hole of things that I don't need to be going down. So you are 100% correct. Thank you, angels. Thank you, universe. Right. So you are correct. So I have that much experience in fighting for my child. And I'm looking at your website right now, specialadvantage.com. And yes, the frustration and the worry, the stress, the anxiety, the overwhelm, exhaustion, like you said, you are thinking about it.
Right? This is the biggest thing that my parents struggle with. Like and I'm blessed. Okay. I'm going to just grab your microphone, Jennifer, and take over.
You go, girl.
I'm so passionate because, like you said, this is, about it because of your experience with Parker. I have been around special needs my entire life. Okay. I was born and had a special need of my own. I was born into a family where we have 10 family members that have one form of special need or another. Right. So I'm not new to this. It's been my entire personal life and my entire professional life. I'm a special needs expert, developmental specialist, therapist, and parent coach. And my parents are coming to me, parents of children with special needs, because they're wondering if they're doing all the right things, right? Like, I got to do the right thing to help my child.
We have no idea what that is.
They have no idea what that is. And what I find is that they're super frustrated and exhausted, just like you were reading on my website. They're frustrated, they're exhausted, trying to navigate these broken systems, whether it's the school district or the medical system or whatever it might be. And they're struggling with knowing how to balance their time. Like they don't put themselves first. They put their child first in absolutely everything. And then they're getting stuck in anxiety or stress or overwhelm. And all they really want is a greater peace of mind, knowing that they're doing the right thing to help their child make progress so that their child will grow up and live a happy, independent life. Because they're so worried that what's going to happen when I'm gone. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
And it affects the whole family. It doesn't just affect the mom or the dad, right? Like dad's worried about maybe in traditional older families, like breadwinner and stay-at-home parent, right? They're worried about their finances, which is where you come in, right? They're worried about the siblings and how to help the siblings. The grandparents are worried and maybe giving mom and dad grief about why aren't you doing enough, or why do you need that therapy, or so the whole family is effective. And if you don't know that, you kind of sweep it under the rug and pretend like it's not there. So when the siblings acting out, it must be the siblings' fault. So it's
That's so true. And also, Denise, it kind of sneaks up on you. like we're just getting through the day, right? They're small babies and we have them. And then you start adapting to whatever you need to be adapting to. And then all of a sudden they're 10 and you're exhausted or 5 and you're exhausted. Right. And it's like, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but oh my God, I don't know if I'm doing it. And they start school and it's a whole nother thing. So, it's so much. How did you get into this?
Interesting story. Like why I got into this was actually listening to, you know me. I don't even know if you know my why, but that always hits my emotional button. My why is hearing the stories of how hard it was for my mom to parent my brother through his needs, because she had no idea how to help him. She didn't know what was going on. And so a little bit of background, like my brother was in today's world, he may have gotten diagnosed with ADHD or a sensory integration issue, certainly communication delays. You know, my mom used to say, well, he couldn't communicate what he needed, how he felt, or what he wanted. He was nonverbal until after age 2. And and he was a risk taker. So he'd get into all kinds of things, which led them into the emergency room a lot. And he was inconsolable and cried a lot of the time, and she didn't know how to help him. And so there was one day in Lucky's grocery store where she was shopping for groceries to put dinner on the table that night, like she did every night, like a stay-at-home mom. And a man came up to them out of nowhere, and which is such a big thing for my families, going out in public with your child, right? So he came up, and my brother was crying and was not consolable. And so he got right in her face and said, "My God, woman, can't you stop your kid from crying?" And at that point, she was so on her last nerve that she picked him up out of the cart, shoved him in front of the man's chest, and said, "No, I can't. But if you think you can do better, please feel free to try."
Oh my gosh.
Which is so uncharacteristic of my very subdued, non-challenging mother, right? Like very quiet, saint-like mom. She checked out of the store, put the kids in the car, sat down in the front seat and sobbed. And made dinner and put the kids to bed, both my brothers to bed that night. She's pregnant with me. So like I was there, but not quite there yet. And she got home and later that night, she said, "Art, if I don't get help with him, I think I'm going to end up in the funny farm," which back then meant I'm going to go crazy. And so knowing her journey and how much she was suffering alone, right? Not knowing what to do to help her son, feeling like I'm the only one who's a failing parent who doesn't know what to do. And and it's like, okay, so I want to help the child make progress, learn to speak. And that's what I do, right? Like I help the child make progress, whether it's communication or gross motor or social or cognition or learning to potty train, I don't know, whatever. And it's also helping the parent feel more confident in their parenting, reduce their stress and overwhelm and fear of the future. Like it's helping them know what to do so they can support their child and go back out into public and be armed like the mama bear or the papa bear that I want them to be. And so my why like touches me every day. And I feel the parents that are out there suffering alone. And it's criminal because our systems are so broken with leaving parents on their own to fend for themselves. And you said, and I feel like I'm talking a lot, but you said oftentimes, they get to school, which is true. Maybe they're 5 or maybe they're 10, and that's when they're getting a label or a diagnosis or an assessment. Or maybe the parent was worried about something, but the pediatrician wasn't listening. So it's frustrating for me knowing that parents know that something's not right. And when they finally are heard and acknowledged, or when they're finally ready to take action to support their child and their family, their whole family and themselves, that's what I love to do. I love to come in.
That's what you pop in, Mary Poppins,
Yeah.
and swoop in to help them get some type of normalcy to their life and not be exhausted with that. I appreciate that. Well, I can tell you right now that I had 4 children, and I knew within the first week that Parker was going to be different. So moms know.
Moms know.
They just know. Moms just know.
100%.
He was the absolute happiest 100%. Baby, but he was happy on my hip for 2 years. Like that was just where he needed to be. And he was absolutely hilarious. He was so cute with his big old grin and laughing all the time. And Journey made him laugh all the time. It was so cute. Aww, but I knew he was, and I knew he was going to be different. So, and moms just know. Yeah, I totally get that. Okay, so I did not know your why was your mom. And your brother. That touches me. I love that. I love that. And we all have a why. And if we don't have a why, get a why now, because there's no reason to wake up if you don't have a why.
Right.
You got to have a why, because it keeps us going, right? When the world's crazy, it keeps us going. So I know that your career has evolved and your business has evolved. And I know you just keep adding new things for your parents and your children, and with COVID happening, not being able to see them in person, and then, doing your parent support groups, and now being able to go back and work with the kids and stuff. As an expert in this field that you've been doing for so long, how do you take care of yourself?
Good question. I have a lot of things that I do to take care of myself. I have to practice what I preach, right? Because that is actually one of the secret sauce things that I tell parents. Like if a parent tells me, how do I help my kid? That's the number one thing, is they actually have to take care of themselves, or they won't be able to take care of the rest of their family.
Right. Put the oxygen mask on first.
Yeah. Put your own oxygen mask on first. So, so I have to practice what I preach, and you and I have been friends for a long, long time. And so you've known when I do that and when I have fallen off the wagon, so to speak, and
which we all do. Yeah.
Which we all do. Yeah. But for me, there's many ways. It depends on what I'm doing. Like if I'm needing to advocate for myself, I'm going to use certain tools for that. Right. But for my regular day-to-day stuff, I have a very solid morning ritual that I absolutely love, that grounds me and sets me up right for success for the day. Because I'm a firm believer that you have to figure out how to manage your own emotions. Otherwise, your emotions are going to manage you. And then you can end up going down the spiral, right? Downward spiral instead of an up spiral. So it sets me up for a good day. And as you know, I just got to go to the beach again, or chose to go to the beach again yesterday in the midst of all the stuff I needed to do, because being out in nature absolutely also grounds me and helps me take care of myself. It like feeds my soul.
I love that. And we need to have our glass full in order to help other people. And I know Denise and I are very alike that way. My whole life is set up to be able to be there for my clients and family and friends and myself. I put myself first 100% of the time. How I feel, how health, sleep, eating, everything is all first. I am first 100% selfish as heck. And I'm very happy with that. And in order for us to be that way for our clients and what's happening, we do have to have parameters around our lifestyle that I think comes with confidence as well, which is, I know what you give to your parents and your mamas and papas and the kids as well, right? We have to show them we don't know what we don't know. Thank you, Maya Angelou. Like, we don't know what we don't know. And once we see someone else living this and going, oh, wow, I can actually do this. That's why I love your support groups. I know that after losing my children, I would not be here if it wasn't for support groups. So I'm so happy that you have support groups so that other parents see that they're not alone, and that they're not insane. Like, the feelings that we have with that can actually, like your mom, make you go to the funny farm. First of all, you do not want to be in this situation. And this is me speaking for me. When I got to the certain point where I do not want to be in this situation, and it's my child. So
Right.
how much guilt do I have about that?
Right.
And
Oh
then,
my God.
right?
Huge.
Oh my God, so much guilt.
Huge. Well, nobody signs up to be in this camp, right? Or in this group. I mean, it's not like, ooh, I want to have a baby, and or I want to have a child. And my dream, my vision is to have a child in a wheelchair, or to have a child, or have a child who's nonverbal and using a talking device, right? Or I want to have a child who is going to eventually be labeled with autism or cerebral palsy or Down syndrome or Angelman syndrome. That's a new one I haven't heard of. Sign me up for that. You
Yeah,
don't want to be in this camp. It's not something that you sign up for. In fact, most people don't know anything at all about the special needs community until suddenly they have a ticket and they're on board. And
exactly.
right. And the thing about the groups, thank you for mentioning the groups, Jennifer, because I'm with you 100%. Like, I fully believe in support groups for families that have kids with special needs, right? Because they're so valuable, but parents don't know that they need it. And most of the time when they first start their journey, they're like, oh, hell no, I don't want to be in a group. Like, I don't belong with, sorry, everybody, but I don't belong with
Those people.
those people.
Yep.
My kid's not like that kid, right? And the reality is, you guys have the same fears, the same worries, the same stressors, and the kids are more alike than different.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too that I love preaching, because kids with special needs are more alike than different than their typical peers, right? And everybody wants to believe that, and yet they don't want to believe that their kid, like, I don't want to be in that special class because then my kid's going to pick up behaviors like the other kids in that special class. It's like, no, we actually do so much better when we're recognizing the strengths that these amazing kids have and the amazing gifts that they are here to provide for us. Like, most people don't focus on the strengths, they focus on what's wrong or what's
right, and how to fix it.
Right. And so the groups for me, because I have different ones. I have free parent support and discussion groups, and then I have a very low monthly membership, which is like it's a coaching program and parent support group all rolled up into one, which I absolutely love because it's such an incredibly uplifting, proactive group of parents. But once people are in it, they're like, oh my God, why didn't I do this sooner?
Right.
Because your family doesn't get it, right? Your parents or your friends that have typically developing kids, they don't understand what you're going through. They're not on the same journey that parents that have kids with special needs are on. So it is that secret sauce, just like you said, with when you lost your kids, or for me, I've been in trauma groups, like when I had the blockage, the disability, what was it, my third disability, like I was thrust into a support group and wasn't sure I was going to like it, but it was the best thing I could have ever
You
done.
were one of those then. I don't want to be with those people.
Just like that. I don't belong here. These people are different, or I'm different. It's like, oh, great.
So I have one rule when I'm around people that we're doing things around food. You have to try it. If you don't like it, that's fine, but you have to try it. Same rule with this. Like, if someone recommends something to you and you see something, you have to try it. Like, it's crazy not to. It's just egocentric not to try it, or your fear is just way too big. Yeah.
Fear. Yeah, it's usually fear, right? Like, oh, I'm not going to like that slimy thing.
Right. But it's like, okay, just try it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. So let me ask you this. What is one of the most asked questions that you get?
Kind of alluded to it a little bit. I think the number one question often is, how do I help my kid? What do I do? How do I help my kiddo?
Oh.
And for me, it's very individualized. Like, there's no cookie cutter answer for any parent, because your child's an individual child with their specific wants, desires, and needs, and they're in your family, which is also an individualized family, which is different from your neighbor or your friends. And so you want specific things. So for me, there's no cookie cutter approach to serving a family or serving a child. I look at where they're starting, what they're dealing with, and then what we need to do next to reach where they want to go. Right.
So
So
you
it's
do
like,
consultations with them because
yeah, oh
everyone's so
yeah,
individualized. Okay.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like I have every program that I have is very individualized with families, and it starts with the conversation. It starts with a complimentary, accelerate your child's progress discovery session.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, that's what I start with. But like in a nutshell, if I were to drill it down to what's kind of core to every parent, what every parent needs, it's like refill your cup. Like let's address
Yeah.
your needs too, because when you're depleted and you got nothing in your cup, you can't give to them. Right. And you know this, like in thinking about Parker, if you're not your highest best self, you can't support him the way that your best self would support him or
And
would
there's
support
no
him.
way that I could have been my highest best self at that point because I wasn't reaching out for help. I didn't know I needed it really. So
Right.
I
Right.
definitely was not my best self going through that whole experience. And so
Yeah.
Anybody listening right now, please definitely reach out, ask for help, check out Denise. Anybody that knows someone that could be suffering from anything at all around any disabilities whatsoever with their family, like we have to ask for help. Like we have to reach out just to see.
Well, we can't do it
I really
alone.
love that.
We can't do
We
it
can't
alone.
do it alone. And why do we think we
With
should?
my mom,
Like
like thank God my mom had the smarts to go home and ask my dad to say, look, we need help. And thankfully he was able to say, you know what? Yeah, okay, I can see how you're supporting our family. So yeah, let's get you some help.
and
And
how do you have single parents in your groups
oh
as
yeah,
well?
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I make everything doable for whether they're single or whether they've got support, family, whatever or not. It's funny because I just my brain, as you know, Jennifer, my brain pops like popcorn and I go all over the place depending on where I need to go in the moment.
You
And
go, girl.
I also like I started, I've been doing this for 30 years. And so it's not about me, it's about supporting the families. And I started as an early interventionist, which is birth to 3. And I serve families in their home. I do home visits with families locally, but I also have been doing virtual services for years, way before COVID, right? Because I support medically fragile children. And sometimes if they're going to have a heart transplant, you can't see them for a while because you don't want to bring in the germs. But I was thinking about my mom with me because I had issues when I was born. She had a home visitor that taught her exercises to do with me to support me. Every time she did a diaper change, like she had these certain exercises to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like it was a nurse home visitor back then, right? But I became the home visitor that my mom had to support my issues.
That's so cool.
Because I came out feet first and I got stuck, right? And so I had to have my leg in a cast for the first, I can't remember, it was 3 weeks, 4 weeks of my life, and had all kinds of issues when I was born. And so I don't remember where I was going with this, but like it definitely, oh, I know, it definitely stems from let's address the parents. So my mom was worried about me. So let's give her something to do to help decrease the worry. Now she feels empowered. Oh, exercise. I can do these exercises. Oh, I can embed them in the regular routine of the day. I got this. Easy peasy. I can deal with the other 2 children and Denise's needs because, you put it into the diaper changing or a meal or, dressing skills. I don't know, whatever. It's easy. It's not hard. So over
It's
the
not
years,
hard,
yeah,
but it's I love the way you integrate it.
yeah, have to.
What did you do after the early years?
After the early years, you mean of like my career kind of thing?
Yeah, you did 1 to 3 and then.
Yeah, well, I started, I probably started before that. I'm working with kids with special needs my whole life, really. But I ran the high risk infant program at Stanford, decided I wanted to go back for my master's degree in early childhood special ed so I could be providing the services to families in their homes. when I realized the systems were broken, like the federal systems were broken and kids weren't actually getting what they needed to get. It was probably around the time I started to do my own private work too, which expanded to kids, beyond age 3 and, 5, 6. Now I still work with kids like birth to 10 ish, depending on the child, is my favorite age to work with in the home still and providing services for families. But I have clients right now that have adult children and I'm supporting the parents. Like I'm a parent coach and therapist, so I can help their children through helping them. And that's usually more virtual work, right? Or through the Special Needs Connection membership program, because I can help them through the group program. But yeah, it just depends on what the family is looking for or what the family needs. Because sometimes it's helping the child make progress. Sometimes it's helping the parent make progress or work through the parent to make progress for the child. Does that make
That's
sense?
wonderful. I love that. I love that. And you're in the Bay Area and they can reach you at specialadvantage.com. Can they sign up for that complimentary check-in thing from that website?
Absolutely. They can reach out to me to connect with me. If they peek at my services page, they could look at the variety of stuff that I offer and see if anything fits for them specifically. And if it does, like if they know, oh my God, I'm totally living in fear. I can't even go outside or even think about how to go outside right now with my child, then maybe it's a, parent empowerment VIP program that we talk about. Or if it's, like my favorite ideal client is a client who's brand spanking new to this world and this journey. And they're like, I'm new to all this. I don't know what I don't know. And help. Exactly. So, they'll find whatever's right for them. But yeah, we can talk, like have a complimentary, session. I do that because if I'm the right fit, great. And I'm going to tell a parent exactly how I would support their child in helping their development, or how I could support the family to move forward and get out of whatever they're stuck in. And if I'm not the right fit, I'm not going to offer a family anything. I'm going to tell them I'm not the right person for you. Here's where you should go and contact this program or go to these people instead, because I don't want to waste anybody's time.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah. So give me an example of like a home visit. Like what would you do when you walked into a home?
I love that. My day is so unique and so different every single day, which is what I love. I'll think of a couple that I have going on right now as a way of
that's
kind
perfect.
of sharing. Yeah. So I have a little girl that I'm working with right now, and I usually visit with the little girl with her mom. Sometimes the sister joins us too. But she has Down syndrome, and I think she has a dual diagnosis, Down syndrome and autism. But she's 10, and we've been working. They hired me for the year, actually, through Regional Center's self-determination program, which is totally awesome and new for me. So the family isn't out anything. But I have been helping them potty train her. And I've been working on helping them teach her how to use a fork and a napkin, like self-feeding rather than just spoon feeding, right? Or fingers. So part of that was also learning to sit at the table and eat. Her favorite way of sitting was to kind of crisscross, and I'm low tone too, so I get it. At least kids with Down syndrome typically are low tone kids. Like she'd sit with her feet crossed and on the table. So part of it was to help her learn to keep her feet down. So
what does low tone mean?
Thank you for asking that question. So we all have tone in our body. Tone is what drives us to be able to use our muscles to pick up a glass and drink. If I have high tone, like a child maybe who has cerebral palsy, for example, everybody can kind of have a picture of what that looks like. I might be more like Barbie or Ken, or my arms are tight, or my movements are more stiff. I might pick up a glass and it's a little harder to do. Low tone is more like a Raggedy Ann or Raggedy Andy doll.
Oh.
Doll. So I'm still going to want to pick up that glass, but it's harder because now I have lower tone. Like my muscles are different, right? You can see the difference. Typical muscle, grab it. I want it. And it's also the eyes too, coordinating. Like I see the glass, I'm going to go get the glass. I got the glass. I picked up the glass and I put it to my mouth. There's a lot that motor skills involve your, everything's together. Like in my world as a developmental specialist, this is what I love about this. Like developing the ability to speak to someone isn't just speech. It's also cognition and social skills blended with it. So I want to look at the whole child's development. So motor skills is going to impact how you eat or drink or walk across the room and interact with your brother or your mom.
Right.
Right. And so looking outside the box of just my child can't talk helps a parent recognize what's really going on.
Right. So further than that. Okay. So now you're with
this
little girl.
That's what I do in home visits. Yeah. So that's kind of what I do in home visits. Like I might get
now you're also helping the parent to continue that training when you're not there. Kind of like 100%. Any type of training that we all need. It's a daily thing, right?
Right. So that's what I love about what I do. And thank you. That was just kind of one example of a home visit that I totally went off on a tangent because there's so many things. Like I would say 98% of the families who reach out to me want help with their child's communication skills. I want my child to talk. Okay, great. So let me help you with that. And it's always going to be, what does your child like to do? Because I always want to work through whatever's fun for your child. So it could be, if it's an older child, it might be video games, right? Like I've got a 21-year-old right now that I'm working with, and it's video games, or pugs is her favorite thing. So we work with that. For another child, maybe it's blocks or trains. So we're going to do something with blocks and trains to help with communication skills or social emotional skills, like whatever our goal is, whatever the parents' goals are, or what we feel are the right goals. I'm going to teach through something fun. Cause in my core belief is if the child's not having fun, they're never going to participate in whatever it is we're trying to do. Right. They're going to crawl away, roll away, get away, push you away. Right. And if the parent's not having fun, they're never going to follow through either with whatever it is. Right. So I don't give homework because I think that sets a parent up for failure if they don't do it, and for feeling guilty if they don't do it. So I try to think about and ask, well, what does your child love to do? And what do you love to do? And how can we blend the two so you're going to actually do stuff? So with the child I was just telling you about, mom loves art, but the daughter's never been able to do artwork because of her special needs. So now we're making it. I'm so excited with this because like she's painting, like we're making a lemonade stand. It sounds ridiculous, but we've put together a box. We've created a lemonade stand. The little girl and her mom are painting together. I've got great memories of mom laughing and doing this great activity with her daughter because she's having fun and she's seeing the progress that her daughter's making. And yes, it's not about just the time that I'm there with the family. It's for me to teach the parents what to do when I'm not there.
Right. So that's key.
Right. It's key. So, I mean, sometimes I use the sibling and it's like I teach the sibling how to have fun with the little guy or the little girl. So that way they're able to continue the therapy when I'm not there, or when mom's busy in the kitchen or dad's, working. So it is more of a 24/7 thing, but they don't have to feel like, did I get the homework in today? Did I help my child today?
Right.
Well, yeah, you totally helped your child today because you did the therapy. You worked on communication when you were giving them a bath.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how do they know? Well, let me ask you this. How soon does it take for your parents to usually tell you, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I hired you?
oh my God, usually the first session, they're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, my child never, ever, ever, ever does this with anyone. How did you get him to do that? I'm like, well, I'm kind of like the Pied Piper with kids, and it's a gift. I will absolutely, I mean, whatever your belief systems are, I get it, everybody's different, but I absolutely know that I have a gift from God. And my gift is to see people exactly where they're at, who they are, and all the gifts that they have, that they bring to this world. And oftentimes people who have a child with special needs or the community doesn't see those gifts, but I do. And so I can join the child right where they're at in that moment and get them to do things that maybe no one else did because they weren't really listening. Not to say that parents don't listen to their kids, but because I absolutely believe parents are the experts on their kids, 100%, 100%. But I think it's a partnership. Like it's expert parents with an special needs expert bringing out the child's best. So yeah, if it's not the first session, it's certainly within the first month.
I love it. I love that. I have the same exact experience as well, like, because we can make so much change quicker, and we just don't know what we don't know.
I was just going to say that we don't know what we don't know. And that's why it's so helpful to ask for help when you need it, because you don't know what you don't know.
And you don't even know, even if you don't know what it is.
Right. Like, you're my coach, you're not my financial planner, because I don't know what I don't know. Right. I'm going to hire coaches to help support me with what I don't know. So, yeah. So if people are out there suffering, ask for help.
Yeah.
Just makes
for
sense.
sure. I love that. I love that. Okay. So now, tell me a story, because we love stories. So tell me a story, maybe one of your, I know you love them all equally, but maybe a success story, just some type of a success story.
A success story. Oh my God, there's so many. Which success story do I want to bring up? Gosh, there's so many. Okay. I'm thinking of a family that I worked with. Oh my gosh, this was such a fun family to work with. So and my example is from I got a referral. I think the referral came from Stanford Children's Hospital. Many of mine do.
Oh yeah, let me interrupt you before you go into the story. How do people get your services paid for?
I'm private pay. So,
but you just mentioned the Stanford, and then you mentioned something else earlier.
Yeah, I'm a private pay program. So, but I have different price points. So there's, money doesn't have to be an option if families want to connect. I have a free parent support and discussion group. That's an ongoing group that they can reach out and join. I have my special needs connection membership program that I mentioned. And I actually would love to offer your peeps something at the end, if possible.
So they have to stay to the end. Neener.
A special thing for them, a giftie, if you will. And then I have different programs, VIP programs, or parents can pay for me privately, per hour, or hire me that way, whatever. I'm a set price point, and it's cheaper if they purchase a program, because I want to make it affordable to families.
And you can do more good when they are in a program.
Oh, 100%. But I don't want people to think, oh, well, I can't afford it, because you haven't talked to me, so you don't even know what you need yet. So
right.
But because I'm a developmental specialist, insurance companies don't reimburse typically for my services, although some families have managed to have that happen. Usually I get referrals from people who know what I do and don't want to see a family struggling. So Stanford is one of those places that constantly refers to me. This was a family, and I was going to say, it's just because it's an example of a young kiddo doesn't mean I don't work with older families. But right. This particular family, he was a micro-preemie, which is part of my specialty, meaning he was born at 25 weeks gestation. 40 weeks is term. So he was very, very, very early. And he was at risk for many, many issues because of his complicated birth history. So I started home visiting with this family and his older sister, and also their nanny, because it was like a full comprehensive. Like I worked with the grandparents, I work with mom, I work with dad. And the reason what makes it a success story is I worked with them on every area of development for him. We worked on motor skills. We worked on cognition skills. We worked on feeding. We worked on communication. We worked on dressing skills. We worked on everything you could possibly think of. And they were told, yeah, your child's probably never going to walk. He may never tell you I love you. Don't expect him to be able to speak. And he didn't even need any, and I mean like any special ed services by the time he was 3. And he ended up going to the Bing preschool program, which is Stanford's preschool program, which you have to have a certain level of ability to actually be able to attend. So it popped in my head as a success story because, one, this family was very eager to learn how to support and help their child make progress. And they were following through with the recommendations because it was easy to do and fun. And like both kids learned together. And yeah, it was just
awesome. That is a great success story.
Thanks. Yeah. Like that's my goal. My goal is that kids don't need any help down the road. You know?
And is there anyone that stopped before you think life probably, I mean, you can help them all the way through their life. So that's probably a difficult question. So give me another example. Let's see, how much time do we have left? I forget that I'm talking to you on a time limit.
That's true.
47. Oh yeah, we only have like 3 minutes left. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Okay. 3 minutes left. Well, then let me give your peeps a special thing. So anyone who's interested in learning more about who I am and what I do, because I haven't really talked, well, I've talked about what I do, but if you want to know more about me, visit specialadvantage.com. You can also look at all the different things that I have, and there's more that it's not even there, but I'm really, really love my Special Needs Connection membership group. I'm about to do some launching, marketing work to kind of open up enrollment. And it's such a fabulous program that I believe in. And I have people finding me all over. Like I don't just coach in the Bay Area. I have families all over the US and families in other countries that are finding me as well and working with me. So I love supporting families. And if anyone wants to join and try out the Special Needs Connection membership program at a reduced rate, it's usually right now it's $177 a month. And for your peeps, if they type in and use a coupon code, Peace of Mind, all one word, Peace of Mind, then they get a huge break, and it's only $11 for the month.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm all about 11s or 1s and 7s. So, so they can try it out and see if they like being supported and having guidance, answers, and support to help their child make progress for just $11. If they like it, great, stay in it. If not, bounce, no risk.
$11, you got to try her for a month for sure. Like that's
try it, right? Try the food.
Yeah, try the food. $11, we can all try that.
If I'm not the right fit, that's okay. Find someone else.
Yeah, I love that, Denise. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. And I know that we do need help in this community. And like I have, obviously I'm grief support for people who've lost children. I attended a gala last night, the Monique Woolley Foundation. A very good friend of mine that I met here in Beverly Hills, and her daughter committed suicide. And so she has a foundation for her. And that's one of my passions, right? Mm-hmm. And so we had a 1920s gala last night. It was so amazing. When feeling blue, think yellow is her thing. So we definitely want to support what's happening. And there's so many different aspects of life. And I love to send anyone to you in the special needs community because you're so vast in your knowledge and your experience and helping thousands of children and speaking with thousands of parents. Like you get them, like you get what's happening and you can get them quickly. I mean, I say the same thing about money, right?
I'm motivated out of their struggle. So
and absolutely. It's so, I don't want to say easy for you because it's just that once we've done something for so long, we're actually really good at it. It's we can help people very quickly.
Right. Very quickly. You're right. And I love it. So I thank you for letting me join you here. I know that everyone knows someone that has a child with a special needs. So it's just nice to have a platform to actually be able to share what I do and share about this amazing community of people. Like I said, that you never really want to be in the club, but once you're in the club for life.
And you need some help. Yeah. I love it. Well, I hope you all have an amazing day. Happy birthday to my week. It's awesome. And I hope you all can say, I love to rock my finances. See you next show.
I love to rock my finances. Bye for now.
We appreciate you joining us today, and don't forget to subscribe to the Rock My Finances YouTube channel for more engagement and bonus content. Tell me, what is your money story? Let's find out with Jennifer, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, every Thursday right here on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. It's not about the zeros, it's about the F word, feelings. Feelings Jennifer can't wait to explore with you next week. Until then, let's all say, I rock my finances.